Right, Jock, you got to get the gold microphone out here for Warnie. Shane Warne, the great Shane Warne, the best leg spinner we've ever seen, probably the best entertainer in the game we've ever seen. What were the memories that you had with him as the fitness coach?
Oh, Hoggy, I'll bring out the microphone for the king. Mate, it's really interesting. I was sitting behind him. I was working with him at Channel 9 as well. Yep. I was sitting behind him and he was telling me how I smoked and I drank and I did this. I wasn't that fit. I said, "Hey, Warnie, do you want me to tell them the truth?" He goes, No, Jock, keep the myth going. So, he was in a lot better shape than he portrayed and the media portrayed. There were times when he, was a bit out of shape, but there were also times when he was in magnificent shape. I put up a photo just recently on my Instagram of when he was getting ready for the South African tour, which was his 100th test, and he used to be walking past me in the shopping centre, 2 floors up, going, "Hey, Jocko, check out the pythons, mate." In his singlet. But, mate, to me, he was just a joy to work with. I first met him, I was with the Australian team, and he'd broken his thumb or his finger against New South Wales when I used to work for the Blues. And he was out for a good few months. And when I first met him, he came into the squad and he put on a lot of weight because he was off cricket. And he said, "Mate, I just couldn't train. I couldn't get my mind around it." So I said, "Mate, let's just do what the rest of the team has to do. I'm not going to push you I just get you to do what you can and we'll just gradually build you." And I thought to myself, with his personality, I didn't want to pick on him or do anything like that and get off on the wrong foot. I wanted to work with him to get the best out of him. And, after about 6 months, after the English tour, he saw Brett Lee with his shirt off in the dressing room and he was ripped. He goes, "What the hell have you been doing, Binger?" He goes, "I've just been doing heaps extra training with Jock." He goes, "Jocko, get over here now." He goes, "Mate, South Africa coming up, my 100th test. I've got to be in the best shape I've ever been." And mate, I've got to say, he was so strong in the mind. Once he decided to do something, you couldn't stop him. And even in his 100th test, he bowled 98 overs. And on this, I think it was the second day, he goes, "Jocko, we've got to go to the gym tonight on the way home from the ground." I go, "You're bowling tomorrow?" He goes, "Doesn't matter." He goes, "Today's gym day." He goes, "We're not missing it." But rightio. So, and people don't understand. A test match day is a long day. You get up probably 7, down to the pool, loosen off the ground. You probably leave for the ground 8:30. And then you don't get home from the ground till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So we stopped at the gym in, I think it might have been Joburg. No, it was Centurion, that's right, down in, and anyway, we did gym and anyway, bowled 98 overs, won us the test match. To bowl 98 overs with that full intensity every ball, Hoggy, as a spinner as well, your arm speed and his arm speed was faster than McGrath's. There's a lot of intensity that goes through the crease. You have to be in pretty good shape. So I had a great time with him, training him and, some great fun things. Shall I go on?
Well, you should go on. There's one thing there that we had a vlog about, or we've got a vlog coming up about workloads and that, and not training the day before the game. But apparently he was not in the best form with the ball. He was unhappy with it, and he bowled for about 6 hours before the first day of a test match, didn't he? That was out the MCG.
Mate, I don't remember that. But yeah, people say, Warnie. But mate, he used to bowl a lot in the nets. He used to train hard. He didn't like batting in the nets too much. He just got lots of throwdowns. But he did, mate, I wouldn't have wanted to bet against Billy. But he was a great worker. But mate, some of the things he did for me, and as a fitness coach, you don't really expect him to get on really well with the fitness guy. But mate, he was just a really giving bloke. Like if you asked him for something, he'd give it to you. And I never wanted to ask him for anything. But there's a couple of times in India. He rings me up, 2001 tour. He goes, Jocko, you gotta come with me. I've organised for you and Errol to come to the. Here's my youngest. Here, Roy, come here. This is Hoggy.
How you going, Roy?
Hi, Hoggy. He's got as much energy as you, mate. Hoggy was one of my cricketers, buddy. He was a really good one. Played for Australia, lots for Australia, won lots of games for us, and he was good fun on tour. He's my mate on tour. Did you know that?
Yes. And sorry for turning off your internet at the moment. We've nearly finished.
We'll be back on soon, buddy. Just want to sit in the background while I finish this interview, mate?
Yeah.
Okay. His name's Roy.
Roy.
Yeah. Not after Simo, but when we were talking about names, and my uncle, one of my uncles was Roy, was a really good bloke, and Mel liked the name Roy, and I said, and Simo, his nickname's Roy, and he's a good bloke, and Mike Whitney, his nickname's Roy. So we were settled on Roy.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Warnie. And
you're in India.
We'd finished the 2001 tour. It was the last day. Anyway, he said, I've organised for you and Errol to go down to the Nike store and just get whatever you want and just put it on my tab because I've got an allocation. So I've gone, oh, you beauty, Errol. Let's go. So he goes, ring Errol, you two go down. And so we did that. And I got Errol, we went down. Mate, we just thought we'd get a pair of shoes, or I had everything, mate. I had clothes, I had shoes, I had sweatbands on, I had headbands on. and I'm going, mate, this is embarrassing. Like, we're embarrassing ourselves. I said, Hoot, if I try and get one more thing, slap me, can you? And then they go, would you like a watch, sir? I've got watches. And so me and Hooter, like two little kids, were racing for the watches, pushing each other out of the way. And Hooter gets this black one, really cool. And I wanted that one. Right. Do you have any heart rate monitor watches? And they go, yeah. So, and this was in 2001. So they were quite expensive. And I go, right, that's it, Hooter. We can't get anything else. And they go, now, have you seen our sunglasses range? So we did that, and mate, that was great fun. I'm running, and Warnie goes, don't tell anyone, just for you two. And I'm running around the hallway with my sweatbands on, with all my Nike gear, and everyone's asking me, what do you know? Just Warnie organised this for me. And same thing in 04, he's organised the same thing for the Reebok factory when he was sponsored by Reebok, except he said, I'm going. Errol and Jock, do you want to come and get a pair of shoes or something? Yeah, love to, Warnie. We get there, the stores closed down. There's thousands of people out the front. There's security guards everywhere, usher Warnie in. But we just felt like rock stars. Same thing. Errol and Jock had no self-control. And we were getting, and same thing, Errol, slap me if I go to get anything else. And mate, at the end of it, I go, Hooter, I'm young and stupid. Like, this is expected from me, but you're old and wise. What's your excuse? No, mate, it was the best. But that's the type of thing he did. He just made you feel really special by doing these things for you. And one serious one that in 2003, I was renegotiating my second contract with Cricket Australia, and the boys have been really, Steve Waugh, Ricky Pine and Gilly, they've been so supportive and really positive with their comments to the board and how much they wanted me to keep going. And the boys were always really supportive. But Cricket Australia was playing real hardball with my money, and I didn't want to bluff them and say, no, I'm not taking that, I want this, and not back up what I said I was going to do. If you don't give me that, I'll walk away. And so I emailed, back in those days, there was no text messages. I emailed Warnie and a few of the other boys that played county cricket. I said, look, Cricket Australia's playing hardball. It's a really awkward time. I can't get a state job at this stage because it's halfway through the season. Have any of you got a county role I could do if I have to leave Cricket Australia? And mate, Warnie rang me that night. He said, I've spoken to Rod. We've organised that if this happens, there'll be a position for you at my county side. So, mate, that's the type of bloke he was. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, because that was before I came into the team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I came into the team and you're going, I wish I took that opportunity from Warnie. Yeah, because he did his shoulder there and I came in, and then he came back at the end of that one day series.
Yeah.
Now, before I go into this, how many games? So he started in 92. I think I started in 94. We played Big Bash. How many games do you reckon I was on the same field as him through that? And there was one warm-up game in it as well. Not for Australia. This is all first-class cricket.
How many games you played against him or with him?
We're on the same field together. So we're either playing with each other or against each other.
Oh, probably two.
We played 2 games with each other, or 3 games with each other. One of those was a warm-up game, and we ended up 12 games. I was involved with it. That's just criminal. It's criminal.
For such big careers.
Yeah, I remember in 2003 when he came back for the finals, and he was fielding out first slip, and Ricky Ponting's giving him the warm-up Warnie, and I'm out point. And it was like I was 5 years of age in the backyard, playing backyard cricket where you sort of got the chapels. All right, Greg, just move around there. Rod, I'm going to get it going through, and it's going to be Hogg and Marsh, not Liam Marsh, and all of this stuff. And I saw the warm up, and I go, oh, this is awesome. This is going to be great, Warnie.
I made the confidence.
Yeah, but I was just going, Warnie, I'm going to get a front row seat watching you. I'm going to field to you. I'm going to get a catch off you, mate. I was just overexcited, over the top, and Warnie's just turned to Gilly and gone, mate, what's this guy on? But I remember back in 94, 95, I got invited for a week at the academy there, and he was there. We're the same age, but he knew I just started bowling leg spin, and he was just helping me out as much as possible, just giving all that information. He was unbelievable character, and he was a vital cog in that team, not just because of his wicket-taking ability, but his leadership qualities with never, ever giving up.
Yeah, and you saw that in his batting. Invariably, if we got in trouble with our batting, he would always score runs. Whether a 30 or 40 or 70, he'd always get us to a somewhat meaningful total, where he'd stop that collapse and just, counterpunch with some shots. And he's a very gifted batsman, but he really scored runs when we needed them. And yeah, you're right. I think my old man, my dad is 90 now. He's the most conservative bloke you'll ever meet. Didn't like Elvis Presley because he was too loud. Didn't like Muhammad Ali because he was too outspoken. He's very much Mr. Conservative, my dad. And he said to me that I was telling him, like, he's in an aged care facility, hadn't seen the news about Warnie. And he goes, yeah, he was very good to you, wasn't he? I said, yeah. He goes, yep, he had his flaws, but geez, there was a lot of great stuff there. And so for my dad to say that, it's pretty good. Like, everyone loved watching him play. Everyone loved watching what he did on the field. And I think post that, he's very outspoken. He's black or white. If he didn't like you, he clearly made it known that he didn't like some things you did, but if he was in your corner, or if he did like you, he'd do anything for you. And so even I think in these last, couple of years, he became less hard on the people that he had been hard on before. Like, and I think we all know about that, but it's a celebration of Warnie at the moment. And mate, he was great to me. He was great. I saw how good he was to a Michael Clark coming through, how much advice he gave to him about, remember Pup went out during a test, not out drinking or anything, out to see a girl during a test match. And Warnie blew him up and said, mate, you've had 2 failures, 1 more failure and your position's in jeopardy. He said, not during a test match. You focus on the test. You don't do anything stupid. And this was Pup was a pup, mate. He was 20 or 21, however old he was only young. And I just thought, coming from Warnie, that's a very strong statement that Pup will listen to, because it's coming from Warnie, who's not always seen to be that guy. And those sort of things, I reckon, when, it's like when Steve Orr speaks, or when Shane Warne speaks, when Richie Benaud speaks, you listen, you take it in, because it's, they're onto something. So yeah, he was so helpful. And as you said, he helped, I've seen him help thousands of young bowlers just with grips, and every international team that comes, when Warnie's commentating, he will help their spinners. He loves the art. He always said it was, you need a lot of love as a leg spinner. You need a lot of love from your teammates, from your captain, because he goes, it's a hard role because you do get pummeled sometimes. You drop one short, it goes over the fence. You pitch one up too full, it goes over the fence. He goes, you get the wrong line, you get pummeled. And mate, there's no other spinner in the side generally to empathise with you. It's like you're taken off and the fast bowlers come back on and you're sent off for a while. He said, so he goes, you need a lot of help and a lot of support. And I'd never thought of it like that as a spinner, how even when you played great cricket and one of your spinners was getting pumped, what support they might have needed. I just think, the world's lost a great cricket soul, and really sad, mate. It hasn't fully. I think the funeral is when it'll fully hit me, because you still hear his voice on TV all the time. You still see him doing interviews you've never seen him do before. They've had so many specials on him, and we keep all talking about the great Warnie story. So I think come his funeral, that's when it'll really hit me. Yeah,
and I think we're gonna hear a bit more too that we didn't know when it comes to the funeral, because there's a lot of mates out there that were going to share some absolute gold about the great man. And I think we'll finish it up here, but the lessons here for everyone out there. Warnie was seen as a bit of a party boy, but at the end of the day, he was professional. When the job needed to be done, he stood up. He wanted that ball in his hand. He trained excessively hard, but he picked the right times to have a lot of fun. And I think we can sum it up is that there was plenty life in his years, and it's not about the years in your life, it's the life in your years. And that's the way Warnie lived, and that's the way we all should live, because you never know when your moment's up. So make the most of this one now.
Yeah, 100%, Hoggy, and that's really brought that home. I mean, he's younger than me, and so that really hit home. I found out 15 minutes before I was taking a Sandhill session that he died, and when I got there, everyone knew, and they were like, "How are you?" And they said, They said I just looked like I was in shock, and I was like, I didn't know. I went and woke up Mel, and I said, "Oh, Warnie's died," and she goes, "What? No, he wouldn't have." I said, "No, it's all over social media," and I said, "I've got to go," and yeah, mate, he was all those things, and I mean, I've got to say, his diet was probably the worst diet I've ever seen. That was, and he just didn't like many foods, and unfortunately, you can't beat nature, and the king couldn't beat nature, which is terribly sad.
Yeah, I'm having cheese and pickle sandwiches. I've got to add the pickle to the cheese.
Add the pickles.
So the other night, I had the phone, and Shubs, who helps with the videos that we do here, he rang me on WhatsApp, and he mentioned it. And anyway, I'm sitting there, and he's starting to push, "Do you want to do anything with it?" and all that sort of jargon. And I'm not replying. And my wife's sitting there, talk, doing all the body languages, "Don't be rude on the phone." I could not say a word. And my wife hadn't heard the news at that stage. I couldn't get the words out. It was just ridiculous. And then I just said, "Shubs, look, I'll think about it, and I'll do something tomorrow." Hence the phone going off there now. And but the more I listen to Warnie's stories, the more stories that are coming out here, the interviews and everything like that, it's just, I want to get back out there and bowl. And it's just energized me so much. But also realised how special and how lucky I was to be part of the Australian team while he was part of it. And you can't beat that. You played with the best, so fortunate to do that, and you worked with the best. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, what about very special time, mate. Yeah, thanks, Hoggy.